The Illuminati. The Illuminati is divided in a pyramid structure. Here you have some pictures. At the top you have the Anunnaki. They are a group of alien races. The top parts of the Illuminati, we call the elite. Most people think of elite as a group of wealthy people who amuse themselves with fancy parties and horse racing. But it is something completely different. The elite, at least the part of the elite that calls itself the Illuminati, the enlightened, consists of 13 immensely rich families that are constantly in contact with each other. Their names are Rothschild, Rockefeller, Warburg, Bruce, Cavendish, the Medici, Hanover, Habsburg, Krupp, Plantagenet, Romanov, Sinclair, and Windsor. They are supported by 300 other families, often with household names such as Agnelli, Bush, Ford, Kuhn, Loeb, Montgomery, Morgan, Roosevelt, Schiff, Henry Kissinger, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Bill Gates, Bill, and Hillary Clinton, Warren Buffett, etc. Together they control practically all the power and money in the world.
The price good people pay for indifference to general affairs is that they are ruled by wicked people.
Plato. They manage numerous organizations and orders, such as the Vatican, the United Nations, the World Bank, almost all central banks, the CIA, the NSA, NASA, Bilderberg, Skull&Bones, and many others. The Illuminati have been working on a secret agenda for hundreds of years, which should take them in small steps to a new world order. This means that the world has only one government that controls everything and in which the citizens have virtually no rights. This may no longer be more than 7 billion citizens, as it is now, but only a maximum of 500 million. The rest should be eradicated. This is done through war, disease, and starvation. The Illuminati have lost all respect for human life. The bloodlines of the 13 families go back to Sumerian times and they keep these lines as pure as possible by always intermarrying. They are also the top of the most powerful organization in the world. Above the Illuminati in the hierarchy is the Order of the Jesuits and their leader, the so-called Black Pope. But they only have a religious and guiding function, while the Illuminati, as an executive organ, form the real power block. They have laid down their plans in a Stonehenge-like monument in Georgia, USA, called Georgia Guidestones, where they also perform blood sacrifices. Symbolic, like the rest of the Illuminati plans, the Georgia Guidestones are severely affected by the growing public awareness. The root of all evil. The origins of the Illuminati are not human, but alien. More than 4,000 years ago a group of reptilians landed with the plan to conquer the earth, unseen. Understanding the art of transformation, they pretended to be normal people, amassing more power and money generation after generation. A reptilian is not bound to one human body. This race can live for thousands of years, so if one human body has become too old, it will just move on with a new body. To the outside world this seems like a new member of the family. The 300 families surrounding the 13 nuclear families almost always also have bloodlines that are related to the Aryan main bloodlines, because transformation is more difficult with the blood of mishmash. They reveal their true form only in places where there is no chance of discovery, such as in the castles where the families live, special divisions of underground cities or at secret, satanic blood rituals and sex parties. Only a few people have open and naked contact with them. The Pindar, penis of the devil, is the foremost member of the main Illuminati family, the Rothschild family. He reports to the Supreme Reptilian, who is somewhere deep underground, nicknamed the Beast. Reptilians are the most negative creatures in the universe. By human standards they are unimaginably wicked and unscrupulous. Anyone who studies the actions of the Illuminati over the years will get the feeling that what is behind it cannot indeed be human. From creating world wars and terrorist attacks such as September 11th, making the population sick through chemtrails, toxic drugs, cosmetics and harmful foods such as McDonald's and KFC, organizing occult gatherings with satanic blood rituals, manhunts and sex parties full of child abuse right down to the murder of benevolent politicians, inventors and even pop artists. Almost all bad things that have happened in world history can ultimately be attributed to this group. But that's not why you should not hear that all reptilian ones are bad. You should look at it like that when someone comes to ask you is man good or bad, then the most logical answer is some are good and some are bad. It's not one thing or the other. The system. The influence of these aliens may have been diminished by the ascension process we are in now, but the power system they established on Earth is still there. It is maintained by millions of employees, from secret services to directors of multinationals. They do everything they can to prevent the truth from coming out. They are terrified that the people will discover what they are all about. As George Bush Sr. put it, if the people knew what we had done, they would chase us down the street and lynch us. Their fear of discovery by the people is the only reason they have not yet taken their final step into the New World Order. We are simply still too many, they do not see it to take action now. So the eradication of the population is still the highest point on the agenda. But that must also be done secretly, so their room to move is limited. Their plans have been delayed for many years. To make matters worse, they are also increasingly confronted with the fact that there are higher powers in the universe who do not want to get it any further than it is now. The situation in which our rulers find themselves is therefore hopeless. On the one hand they hold all the power on Earth, but on the other hand they can hardly do anything with it. However, that doesn't prevent this elite cabal from just keeping the blinders on and happily continuing to plan. Because there is also plenty of fun to do in the process towards the NWO. They regularly see each other at orgies and are engaged in all kinds of secret societies and projects. These secret projects range from building subterranean cities, state-of-the-art space stations, flying saucers and bases on the Moon and Mars, to time travel, human hunts and all kinds of bizarre experiments such as human cloning. The main Illuminati spend their summer holidays at the Bohemian Grove in America, and the European branch meets annually at the Bilderberg Conference. Some acquaintances on the guest list here include the royal families of the Netherlands, England, and Spain. The ministers of development cooperation are also often to be found here, because most of the money earmarked for development aid traditionally disappears straight into the pockets of the Illuminati. All covert operations cost a lot of money, and that is raked in all kinds of illegal ways. For example, taxes are levied that cannot be found in any law, the CIA controls the worldwide drug trade, and the central banks are allowed to print money without any counterpart. Money from nothing. They enjoy the fact that they have secrets from the people. This creates a bond with each other. And the people have proved apathetic enough for years to be able to carry out many sinister schemes. There are only a few members within the Illuminati who know everything, because the pyramid-shaped structure of the system is designed in such a way that only a handful of people can see the whole picture. The rest all work on a need-to-know basis. They are not told more than necessary. Freemasonry. If a member of the elite performs well, he can rise in rank. This is done through Freemasonry. Those who have earned a higher degree will receive a ceremony surrounded by initiation in one of the many Masonic lodges in the world. These rooms are often of unparalleled splendor and are located in or under buildings that everyone knows, such as cathedrals, castles and government buildings. At this initiation, the Freemason in question is also initiated into a new secret. Today, most of these secrets have long been on the internet, yet they are still unknown to the general public. They deal with things like anti-gravity techniques, free energy, mind control techniques, the universe, stargates, extraterrestrial life, how to conquer death, reincarnate without going to heaven, and sound techniques that make matter unsteady or can be made weightless. The Masons used to be really Masons who used these techniques. These are the same techniques that aliens used to build the pyramids and other megalithic monuments. As with other Illuminati institutions such as corporations, banks, the media, the pharmaceutical industry, the judiciary and governments, within Freemasonry the lower ranks often have no idea what kind of system they actually participate in. These are ordinary people like you and me. But everywhere the rule applies, the higher, the more corrupt. This is also the strength of this system, and the reason why so few people are thrilled. Once they realize how the system actually works, they've been a part of it themselves for years and feel complicit. They fear the consequences of talking. Within the order of the Illuminati, it is not particularly appreciated when talking. As said, a human life is worthless in these circles, so anyone who gets too difficult is simply eliminated. In order to work towards a world government, the Illuminati have established all kinds of globally operating agencies. Examples include the United Nations, NATO, World Bank, IMF, WHO, IPCC, UNICEF and many others. These agencies act outwardly as if they want the best for the citizen, but the truth is quite the opposite. The Rockefellers. Anyone who does a little research into the founders of all these institutions will come across one name again and again, the Rockefeller family. While the Rockefellers are not the richest Illuminati family, that's the Rothschilds with an estimated $500 trillion, no translation error, they are the most active and aggressive family in their drive for expansion. The malice of their actions and the lack of respect for their fellow man is shocking, although they present themselves outwardly as philanthropists. Their favorite way of destroying human lives is to create armed conflict and war. They usually do this by financing and arming both camps in conflict and spreading disinformation in order to turn them against each other. Because wars cannot be created everywhere, they also focus on weakening our health, especially through cancer. They manage this quite well. Where in the past only 1 in 1,000 people had to deal with cancer, nowadays this is already almost 1 in 2. Their AIDS campaign in particular was a resounding success. They created this virus, like SARS, bird flu and swine flu, in their secret laboratories. They spread it through their pharmaceutical companies' vaccines, then watched with satisfaction as it raged worldwide, sometimes wiping out generations at a time, like in Africa. In the meantime, they made sure that natural cancer drugs, such as the cannabinoids in marijuana, were banned worldwide. But it didn't stop there, because our health is also combated through chemtrails, harmful radiation, food and clothing. How our health is undermined. All living organisms have a natural vibration. This vibration can be disturbed by electromagnetic radiation from the outside. This results in all sorts of ailments for humans, such as insomnia, headaches, depression, negative effects on the central nervous system and brain function, and cancer. Especially in recent decades, the Illuminati have developed numerous methods to permanently pollute our living environment with all kinds of unhealthy radiation. The biggest culprits include mobile telephony, UMTS masts, Wi-Fi and a worldwide network of enormously powerful radiation installations called HAARP. Our food is genetically manipulated by the rulers as much as possible by removing essential nutrients and adding harmful elements, such as aspartame and other chemical junk. Masonic companies that are guilty of this can often be recognized by the fact that they conquered the world seemingly without any difficulty. Such as McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kellogg's and Starbucks. The logos of these companies are often full of symbolism, because the Illuminati are crazy about secret symbols, geometric values, and gestures. A lot of poison is used in the manufacture of fabrics and clothing, and then they are often covered with a harmful gas formaldehyde to prevent wrinkling. The containers in which they are subsequently transported are often made insect-free with the poisonous gas benzene. Whoever buys such a garment and puts it on immediately without washing it first exposes his skin to all these toxins. The London Olympics in 2012 should have been a highlight in the Illuminati's life. The entire architecture of the event was devoted to Masonic symbolism, and an event was scheduled. We do not know exactly what that should have been, but if we are to believe the mysterious Illuminati card game from 1995, it would not have been really festive again. Fortunately, the Galactic Federation and other channeled entities had already announced before and during the games that 9/11 events will no longer be allowed on Earth at this time of ascension. In the photo, like many other Illuminati, we see McDonald's CEOs making a secret Illuminati hand gesture at the presentation for the games. Where are the Illuminati located? Everywhere. Their tentacles extend to every corner of our daily life. They control the banking system, the media, news services, the pharmaceutical industry, the oil industry, governments, the stock market, the judiciary largely, secret services, armies and the arms industry. They influence science, textbooks, universities, journalism and Hollywood. Inventors who make inventions in the field of free energy or other things that could threaten the establishment are bought off, threatened or murdered. They own the biggest mines, casinos, they control the entire drug world through the CIA, sex slavery, and so on. Simply put, as long as you live your life well, pay taxes properly and cooperate, they will leave you alone. However, as soon as you deviate from the beaten track and start asking tough questions or doing something that opposes the plans of those in power, your life can be turned upside down in no time. Thousands of troublemakers from world history, from JFK to Pim Fortuyn, from Nikola Tesla to Jan Sloat, and from Martin Luther King to Buddy Holly, can no longer talk about it. Fear is the weapon they rule, with the media as their loyal messenger. They try to scare us about everything. Because we have little to fear from nature, the problems are simply invented: terrorism, global warming, scary viruses, Cold War, acid rain, you name it. Most of the good news is withheld from us. Every newspaper and news broadcast is full of terrifying reports. It would almost scare you.
The true purpose of propaganda is neither to convince nor persuade people, but rather to create a uniform pattern in the media so that any unorthodox thought immediately sounds like a dissonance.
Alan Bullock in his book Hitler and Stalin, Parallel Lives. The ultimate failure of the New World Order. Despite all their shady projects, the Illuminati have failed to hold back the development and growth of the population. Repentance comes after sin. The Illuminati are hardly developed spiritually, and therefore do not believe that there is such a thing as karma. They think that the harm they cause to others will be without consequences. Unfortunately for them, however, karma works anywhere and any time in the universe. So at some point, in this life or the next, they will have to experience the consequences of their actions. In addition, every soul will have to evaluate his own life in heaven after his death. It has often been mentioned in channelings and by people with near-death experiences: as soon as you die and begin your journey to the light, everything you have accomplished in terms of careers, power and wealth falls away. You only feel how you have treated others, how you have loved, what you have meant to others. What were the consequences of your choices for everyone? And how have you grown through your experiences? Those are the things that count for a soul, and you immediately know what you did right and wrong. This evolution is not without obligation, because you will also feel how your actions have been felt by others. You will have to experience every pain, every sadness yourself. Matthew Ward, the spirit of a deceased boy now channeled by his mother, wrote that this is a long and arduous process for those who have committed widespread wrongdoing. Therefore, in messages coming to us from higher dimensions, we are always encouraged not to harbor any feelings of hatred towards the Illuminati. Because when the game is over here on Earth, they are not to be envied. This was it for this video. If you like this kind of video and want more of it, be sure to let me know by leaving a like on this video and/or comment under this video. Also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you will know immediately when we upload a new video.